Ladies and gentlemen, what you're watching is uncut, unedited, uncensored, whatever may slip out. I want to discuss something. Now, a lot of you out there may not know who I am. Maybe some of you may have heard of my name but never watched me, never knew who I actually was. Maybe you, as I said, you don't know me. Maybe you do know me. Maybe you've seen my work here on this channel. But I didn't want to discuss none of that. First off, I don't want to say I'm a veteran, because I'm not. At least in some people's eyes. To me, I seem like I did a good bit over the years, especially since wrestling in a backyard, someone's backyard, since the age of 6. And I'm almost 18 in August. So I think I've seen a good bit and been through a good bit. But anyway, recently, in the backyard wrestling community, a lot of people have felt the need to open up. Open up about companies and other stuff like that. So I felt it was only fair if I opened up. And it's not the first time I've opened up against backyard wrestling, but my views has changed. I talked about, I crapped on people that wrestled in a yard, in a wrestling ring, you know. My views has changed on that. But it's sad to see that some of it still just isn't changing. Sure, we have a few, I can't even say a few, hundreds of feds coming up with rings. So good job, you were able to afford a ring. So quickly get out that way. But a lot of people has been talking about retirement, quitting backyard wrestling. A lot of the guys who are giving attention to backyard wrestling leaving now because they feel unwanted, unneeded. Should I name a few? Should I really name a few? Unless you keep up on Twitter. You know, if you keep up on Twitter, you should know who I'm talking about. If you don't need to catch up on Twitter, get a Twitter or go find them somewhere. Go research. But a lot of these guys that are bringing attention to backyard wrestling is all of a sudden disappearing. Now, of course, I'm not just going to blame one person. And I have him blocked on Twitter because I don't feel like seeing none of his bullshit. But I'm pretty sure everyone knows who I'm talking about. No, that's a whole nother discussion, if anything. But I'm probably not going to discuss that matter. Not because I'm afraid he's going to use his little Twitter fingers and tweet out bad stuff about me like he did before. Just because he says he... never mind. Let me stop. But anyway, I heard a lot of times from the guys that same Twitter person was shitting on. To unify. A lot of the guys on there says we need to come together as one. Some of the people on there was happy enough to open up his opinions on his YouTube channel, give his reactions and opinions about matches. Shout out to you, Ecstatic. But yet, all the VTW guys are egotistical. They only care about themselves going over. Honestly, if that's not what you have in mind for a company, is trying to get your brand out there, then what are you doing it for? If you're doing it for fun, look, that's good too. Do it for fun. But if you're looking to make this as a successful thing, or somewhat successful, then you need to thrive on trying to make your brand bigger. Honestly, do you think VTW or any of the guys involved with it, UWE or whatever, do you really think that, or NUW, shout out to them as well, do you honestly think they need to do things like Best in the Yard? They don't have to. You think guys like Cam, 16, needs to go ahead and put people over? He said in a video he didn't do it. Or he didn't have to do it. And we're ungrateful because he did do it. And it's so funny seeing this Twitter person. I keep bringing him up because I feel like I don't like him. He tells me one time he made Cameron Jackson. Good for you if you made Cameron Jackson. If you made him, why all of a sudden you want to shit on him? If you made him, why talk smack about him? Huh? No. This community, and I call it a community, needs to be like this. Not clawing at each other. It's supposed to be together. Sure. Someone might say no to a collab and you might get his butt hurt. So what? I don't understand it. Backyard wrestling. Humongous. Honestly, I think this is honestly the biggest it's ever been. Back whenever it first started, when you saw all kind of things like Backyard CZW, may as well just call it that. You never really saw a community like this. They couldn't really share what they had to the whole world. And the internet's here now. YouTube! The thing you're watching this video on! It's free to the world. Everyone can watch anything except for the following guidelines that get you demonetized. Good thing EBW's not monetized. But anyway, big community now. There was a community before YouTube. All the forums. All of that. I was a part of Backyard Wrestling YouTube in 2008. The videos aren't up anymore because our views were so low because the Backyard Wrestling community hasn't exactly made its way to YouTube at that time. But in 2008, I was on YouTube doing Backyard Wrestling. Was it the best? No, because I was like 7 or 8 years old. But now this community is huge. Honestly, the amount of subscribers and views that we get now is absolutely mind-boggling. Me, Johnny, and Austin, so grateful for it. Every single one of you that do watch. And if you're watching us right now, if you want to check out some of our stuff, please do. If you don't want to check out my stuff and just want to hear me rant, sure, I'm so glad you're watching this video. Backyard Wrestling is bigger than ever. Feds everywhere. All across the globe. And for some reason, we can't find one thing in common. One thing! One thing. Or at least y'all don't see it. I see the one thing. One thing. And it's that we all do backyard wrestling. Sure, we do different levels of it. There's still the people that fall on the bare ground. Which, shout out to you. I did that for a good bit. That's what EBW, KWF, EWF was based on. Hard ground. Now, did we completely take bumps on it during KWF? No, because we were kids. Now that we're grown up, I could take a bump on the ground. Shout out to the trampoline people that's still around. Trampoline, of course, not seen as much. I'm a part of that community. Shout out to those in the ring. But those are the kind of people that is helping get an eye out. Now, I know this person isn't a part of a backyard wrestling fed, but Graham's Toy Show. Showing off wrestling to the world. And for those of you that don't know, Yankee was in backyard wrestling. I think he's still in it. I don't know. I need to catch up a good bit. But he came from a backyard. He's helping get attention. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't forget his roots. And if he did, hopefully I'm reminding him. Community. That's what we're supposed to be. But we have people like Twitter fingers. And all the comments section. Going ahead and just shitting on everything. on everyone. Of course, Twitter Fingers, he says in a podcast that I recently watched, shout out to you, Tiger Talks Wrestling. Love your stuff. That doesn't mean I want to be on it. I mean, as cool as it would be, I'm not going to force that upon you. But he wants to talk about, fuck these coasters. No. Then on the podcast, I'm going to say as long as it makes a good story, you'll do it. That you want to face Cameron Jackson and Drew Hood. Oh man. No. Just stop. As I said, I'm trying not to bring him up too much, but it's just. But really though, call me a nobody. Ask me, who am I to judge all these people? Who am I to even talk about this? I'm a person who's been doing it since I was 6, who's been on YouTube since 2008 doing backyard wrestling, which of course, as I said, it was all deleted, sadly. Because we weren't getting a lot of views, because all of you who are currently watching wasn't around then to watch this. EBW, the name I have now, is in tribute to the old company, because I remember where I came from. Since the age of 6 I was doing it, wrestling with my nephew who's older than me, who used to beat the living hell out of me. To fighting with one of my friends, who I had since elementary school. To fighting with some neighborhood kids. Come on. Can't we for once, in this stupid world, in this crazy world, just get along? We all do backyard wrestling. As I said, we're on different levels. There's the bare grounds, the trampolines, the wrestling rings. Seriously. What is so hard about simply getting together as one community and just supporting each other? Twitter Fingers, I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, just know, I respect what you do. I don't respect you as a person, but I do respect what you do. I mean, look at you. I'm not trying to be friendly or nothing, but look what you've done. You've went on to get trained, and now you're wrestling on the indies. Good job to you. You're one of the many people that's done it. But still, good job to you. Really, I'm not trying to be friendly, as I said. That doesn't mean I respect you as a human, but I do respect what you do. I respect all wrestlers. I respect all the people in the backyard wrestling community. Even if I think their matches are in the toilet. Even if I think their matches are the best. Still, I respect you for even wanting to attempt this, or if you are even trying. I, for one, am happy to help. But I'm not big enough to help, apparently. Trust me, I love this community. I do. There's a whole lot of nice people in it. A whole lot of supportive people. But then there's those that's going to talk below you. And while I might not respect you as a person, I will respect that you're even doing this. Trust me, you guys, I want y'all to know, I could honestly just rant for hours about this. But can't we just get along? I know that's never going to happen. World peace is never going to happen. But let's support each other. This once was small community has expanded far beyond what anyone honestly thought. Can't we all just support each other? Can we support the guys that wrestle now, the guys that wrestle then, the guys that wrestle in the future? Can we just support them? Just know that I want this community to succeed. Because see me, I'm about to be one of the guys having to leave because I want to go ahead and prepare myself as much as I can for wrestling school, for trying to go ahead and better myself. But I will never forget this community. For the good and the bad. For the guys that helped and the guy that used to shit on me. I will never forget this community. Plain and simple. As I said, I could rant for this about this for hours, but I'm not going to. If you watched this far, thank you. If you skipped through this and made it to this point, thank you. All I honestly want to see is everyone just get along. And I want to see guys succeed. So if you're one of the guys that's in this community that wrestles, thank you. If you're a fan of this community, thank you. If you've helped in the past, thank you. If you wrestle now, thank you. If you're going to plan on wrestling in the future, thank you. Backyard wrestling community. Keyword. Community.